Rotor Riot is no longer an FPV company, and we gotta talk about it.
If they want the smoke, then yeah, it's no jokes, boy, it's up. In the end zone, that's a TD, we finesse some chop. Filling up the stat sheets and they knowing that's.
So here's a hypothetical for you, right? You get together with a bunch of your friends and you start filming videos of you guys flying. Eventually you get enough popularity where you want to get some merchandise out and you create a storefront from it, right? Now, let's say that storefront starts to do really well. You're making enough money to pay your staff a living wage and provide them benefits, so the shop's successful, right? But FPV is a niche of a niche of a niche. There just isn't the market that there is for surfing or golfing or something else, so this store is kind of limited in size. So now let's get to this point where you're deciding whether or not you're successful. Any logical person from the outside would look at that business and say they're successful. They're able to pay their employees a living wage. They're able to keep inventory in stock, which doesn't ever happen in FPV. They're able to turn out product quickly. They have great customer service. That is a successful business. And these are not the exact numbers, but let's say eventually some company offers you 10 years of your income, and for you to retain a high salary as a COO, they just own the business. Yeah, I think if you were in that position, you would take it too. It'd be hard not to. All right, so let's go back a little bit further. I've been in FPV for a little bit over 3 years. I know that doesn't sound like a long time, but FPV has only really been a thing for a decade or so, so we are where we are. I actually did the math on this, and I'm kind of proud of this. Somebody spent the equivalent time I've had in FPV with the Boston Red Sox. They would have been with the organization for 41 years, which is longer than any tenure in MLB history. So I've seen it grow, but whatever, I digress. When I started, the Ted Williams and David Ortiz posters in my room were of Joshua Bardwell and Rotor Riot. These are figurative posters, by the way. These were my heroes growing up in FPV, and especially Rotor Riot. To watch the OG cast of Steel and Stingy and Tommy, to watch them just travel as friends and then do something that they love and put together these awesome videos. My God, the Rotor Riot video where they're in Chernobyl, the dream. Imagine traveling halfway across the globe with a bunch of friends to fly in a nuclear excursion zone. That's so cool, and it's still my favorite FPV video to this day. So after that, there was a bit of internal drama with personalities, and I don't feel like not really relevant to this story, but a larger company called Redcat buys out Rotor Riot and Fat Shark. Redcat also at this point owns Teal Drones, which is a kind of camera drone manufacturer. They're a competitor to DJI. Those of you in the hobby, you guys know what I'm talking about. But here's the thing. Redcat didn't intend to uphold Rotor Riot's initial values. Rotor Riot was developing military tech, and that's why they invested in Fat Shark, a technology company, Teal Drones, an established drone company, and Rotor Riot, probably the forepoint, at least at that point, about how maneuverable a drone could be. You know what I mean? Or at least the fast-paced piloting of it. I think between those three companies, they saw a military machine. But it wasn't until this week when Redcat and Unusual Mechanics, Unusual Technologies, Unusual Toys, the fuck is it? Unusual Machines. Redcat created Unusual Machines, which is the stupidest fucking name for a company. And they put Rotor Riot and Fat Shark under this Unusual Machines company, which put out a statement talking about the drones as being precision strike weapons.
All right, we should be a little more specific than he is. This is a press release from June 21st from the Unusual Machines. Again, stupid fucking name for a company. It sounds like a sex toy shop. We'll move past it. In the second paragraph here, it reads, Redcat Holdings recently introduced this new family of low-cost portable unmanned intelligence surveillance and reconnaissance and precision strike systems. It's those last three words. It's the precision strike systems that there's just no way around it. These drones are going to be made to end lives. And this is away from the Rotor Riot that we know of. What is so much worse is this image here. Oh yeah, make sure you're sitting down for this one. So this drone is listed on Redcat's own website. The Fang, an FPV drone with up to 10 minutes of flight time, blah, 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 will add surgical strike capabilities. Warfighters can now combine and deploy these FPV drones with lethal payloads and ISR drones based on the mission profile for seek and destroy capabilities. And the sad thing is, this is not an unfamiliar drone to us. It's just the Moxie. And this weapon is readily available on Rotor Riot's website. And that sucks. For those of us trying to peacefully fly in a park or an abandoned building or just dance in the sky with some cool music on in the background, we're now going to have to explain to Karen how the drones we're flying are not weapons.
Look, here's the thing. The Karen on the corner around from me, she doesn't know what I'm doing. She doesn't know what FPV is. She doesn't get how FPV can be beautiful and fun. The only thing that she's thinking about drones is that here's a surveillance device flying around the skies with a camera attached to it, attached to some weirdo somewhere further away, and that's a weird situation. I totally get that. Or she knows of military drones used for killing lots and lots of people. I wrote an article for Fly Tribe magazine in January. It's a great article. I was really proud of it. If you haven't caught it yet, check it out. But I got a copy of the magazine for my mom, and I sent it to my mom, and my mom read it, and her response was obviously like, great article, I'm proud of you, blah, blah, blah. And then she said, it seems like a really good group of people. My mom just looked at an FPV magazine and figured out why we all do that which we do. How do we get that to more people? How do we get more people to understand that our little hobby is not associated with surveillance and fear and death? Kind of hard when the heroes you grew up with are now promoting our hobby as tools of death and military. It's a bad thing. So obviously, it's my stance that I will no longer be supporting Rotor Riot in any way. I will have no consideration of attending Rampage in the future. I don't buy much Rotor Riot gear anyway. I might have a t-shirt somewhere in the back of my drawer, but I won't wear it, and I won't support a company that supports the weaponization of my hobby, and a hobby that's brought me an incredible amount of joy. I can't tell you what to do, and I don't think anybody should. I think the information coming here is people's opinion, and that's not something I usually get into on my channel, because I just want to talk about improving in FPV. However, it is so disappointing to think about how much enjoyment I got out of those Rotor Riot videos and how much they inspired me to be a pilot and to do the things that I am now doing and happy doing. It's very clear that Rotor Riot is no longer an FPV company. It's now a military-grade drone company. And DJI is not an FPV company either. They throw us a couple of electronics here or there, but at their heart, they're not an FPV company. Anyway, like, subscribe. This is a weird video. I don't even know.